That same survey showed that 90% of your friends want to know if they've done something to upset you. Now, I don't know who the other 10% are, but maybe that's where our unfriend feature can come in handy.
Okay, we'll talk about it now. So I've been in this business for, 30 years or so, and I have never seen as restricted a budget in the federal government as I have today.
We also collect a merchant fee because our customers spend 5 to 6 times what someone on MasterCard or Visa does. So that goes back to the price for value.
137 days. Now, in order to file that application in the first place, she has to navigate over 1,000 different websites and over 900 different call-in numbers, all owned and operated by the United States government.
In my work, over the years, I've known many people who were ready to go, ready to die. And not because they had found some final peace or transcendence, but because they were so repulsed by what their lives had become.
We, the writers and the journalists, can cover that America's stories instead of shutting down bureaus in its midst. We can finance that America's ideas instead of ideas from New York and San Francisco.
We may have no meaning in the cosmic context of the universe, but we make our own meaning daily with each other. And this is the thought that leads to action. Your days are numbered. You don't know what that number is, but it's finite, so get busy with what it is you want to do. Time is running out.
There's nothing wrong with goals. It's falling in love with them that's the problem. It's not being able to be flexible and be alter them. If you have a goal to get here, to get $100,000 in the bank, to get to this promotion, to get 2 cars in your garage, whatever it is that your goal is, and you're on your way to that, and you're always working at the goal, all of this stuff on your way to the goal is called striving, and that's what you learn, striving.
I do have a little bit of a commission, and that I've included in my salary of $42,000. So it can fluctuate depending on what my commission rate is at any particular time.
So, at this point, some of you may be wondering, well, what does that leadership really look like? Well, at Pixar, they understand that innovation takes a village. So the leaders focus on building a sense of community and building those 3 capabilities.
Golfers at St Andrews did reduce the number of holes from 22 to 18 in the 18th century, but sorry to disappoint, it had nothing to do with whiskey. Though St Andrews did create the standard course format that is still used in golf courses throughout the world today. In the 1800s,
derived from nature that has been honored and cherished for centuries. Created in an authentic manner, respecting traditions and customs, and combined into a unique formula. Jamila's Secret.
I'll leave you with this week's challenge problem, which was inspired by a forthcoming article written as part of a fantastic undergraduate research project. Details in the description.
For morality. Let's look to the plays of Shakespeare, the dialogues of Plato, the novels of Jane Austen. In there, we'll find a lot of the truths that we might previously have found in the Gospel of St. John. Now, I think that's a very beautiful idea and a very true idea. They wanted to replace scripture with culture, and that's a very plausible idea. It's also an idea that we have forgotten.
See, you look at that castle in the sky and you shake your head. You think how nice it would be. You flip on the TV, fantasize about $1 million homes, debate whether athletes are officially elite, when you could be building a foundation for yourself, doing something for you.
I don't think our regulators are fully keeping up with technology, and there's some improvement to be done there.
Pretty good job.
I think where regulation works best is when it's a risk-based approach. For example, the NIST framework is very helpful, as well as the subsequent final version of the Department of Financial Services guidelines.
We mirror the environment that we create. So what is our responsibility then when we build the cities of the 21st century, the city planners, the urban designers? How do we make better systems thinking, better feedback loops to kind of like upgrade how we function in the world, to upgrade mankind, to understand the city as an organism.
We don't know what the result will be yet. The government's pledged to fund 3 new schools, but the location of each school remains to be seen. Okay.
So when Vice President Biden talks about a moonshot, yes, we need to devote and dedicate more resources to cancer. But I think we need to do it like we did it for HIV/AIDS, which is to work from the bottom up. Start with fundamental research, then translate that research into new therapeutics for our patients.
In best cases, policy mandates are inefficient solutions, and in the worst cases, mandates can actually prevent the very cultural changes they were meant to encourage. In order to ensure that women can reach their peak career potential and to lessen disparities between the genders, cultures, attitudes, and the choices men and women make must change. And that won't happen just by passing a law. Watch my next video to learn more about the challenges we face addressing the gender gap.
UNSW engineers have refined a solution that involves pumping water from dams to generate electricity during peak demand periods.
Therefore, your responsibility is to pass all of this on to the next generation.
We're going to create a star. We're going to create a star. Just thought it was amazing.
All right, guys, so be sure to check out our sister network, Seeker, where we explore travel, adventure, culture, and amazing stories from around the globe. As human beings, exploring is in our nature. We want to learn and discover until we are able to better comprehend not only the world, but ourselves. What is without becomes within.
There's nothing wrong with goals. It's falling in love with them that's the problem. It's not being able to be flexible and be alter them. If you have a goal to get here, to get $100,000 in the bank, to get to this promotion, to get 2 cars in your garage, whatever it is that your goal is, and you're on your way to that, and you're always working at the goal, all of this stuff on your way to the goal is called striving, and that's what you learn, striving. Striving is a very low-level place to be. When you get to your goal, because all you've ever known is striving, you will just always suffer from this disease called more. You will just upgrade your goal to $200,000, 4 cars, and 2 houses, and another wife, and a younger one, and all of these kinds of things. If you have a goal, and you understand that every step along the way is a present moment to enjoy and to live, then the goal won't become any obsession. I don't have any goals in my life. People ask me, where are you going to be 5 years from now? What are you going to be doing? What's next for you? I remember what Lincoln said, who to me was like the greatest person who ever sat in that White House. He said, I've never had a policy. He said, I just tried to do what made the greatest amount of sense each and every day of my life as I sat there as the President of the United States. And I think there's something really significant in that you don't have to get it all planned out and follow a certain pattern and do it a certain way. If you just sort of trust your inner instincts and go with that and live each moment, the goal stuff will all take care of itself. But if you're